Shalom, shalom, Israel. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to all the men and women who are rehearsing the righteous acts. Shalom to you. Before we get started, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four corners of the world to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indigenous of the Americas, and the speckled bird that are amongst those other nations that look like those from those other nations, but their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well. Okay, so today's video, I might end up calling it, don't really have a caption for this video yet, but it is concerning accountability. As you see, I have it written here: accountability, responsibility, liability, responsiveness. Okay, a couple different definitions there. Okay, and how our nation, Yasharala, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, are held accountable much more than any other nation of the world, right? So lock you for that. So let's get started here. Yasharala was given the law, statutes, and commandments. So we are held accountable. We are the holy people, the special people set apart. Therefore, we receive a lot of the promises, the glory as well as the curses as well. Okay, so let's go over here to Romans 9:4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises, right? Okay, so this is who the Hebrew Israelites are, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law. Okay, so this law was given unto us, right? The holy nation. That's why we are supposed to be and held more accountable. The giving of the law and the service of Yahweh, right? Servicing Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And the promises, okay? So let's go back over here to the beginning. Let's go here to Salakia for that. Amos. Let's go to Amos real quick. 3. Salakia for that. I accidentally, there it is. Okay, Amos 3. Hear this word that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, okay, so the children, the Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, you were brought up from the land of Egypt, okay, right? Given the law, statutes, and commandments, the chosen nation, the holy people, a special people set apart. Okay, Amos 3:2. Let's continue. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Okay, so family goes into nation. Okay, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Okay, so there goes the accountability again, right? Us being held accountable for the salvation as well, right? Because we were given out of all the families, the covenants, the laws, like we just got done reading in Romans 9. Okay.
Strong's H 4940.
Family here.
Mispacha. Mispacha.
The Hebrews transliteration.
Strong's H 4940.
Mishpacha. Okay. Clan, family, guided. Let's go here to the translation. You got kindred. Okay. Let's go to the Strong's definition. Right? Family, circle of relatives. Right? A class of persons. Okay. By extension, a tribe of people. Right? And we know that the 12 tribes consist of the nation of Yasharallah, the true ancient Hebrew name, Yasharallah. Okay? Which means Yah meaning he, Shar meaning prince, and Allah meaning power. He is the prince of power. And that power is what we got done reading earlier, what also holds us accountable, right? What we got done reading in Romans 9, who are the Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption, the covenants, okay, the glory. Let's go there real quick. To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law. And that was what was given. The law, right? And the service of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and the promises. Okay? That's why we are held accountable. That's why we have to be circumspect on our daily walk. Right? Strengthening our faith by sticking to the game plan. And that game plan is sticking to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the game plan. That's what was given unto us to be the standard for our nation and the world. Okay? Let's go here real quick. Because if not, we are going to be held accountable. And like we just got done reading in Amos 3 and 2, you have out of all the families of the earth, okay, have I chosen, therefore I will punish you, roughly paraphrasing. And that's why you know that you're a Hebrew Israelite, through the curses, through the punishment that we have been facing throughout the centuries and even to this current day. Okay? Let's go here to Matthew 12 and 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. Right? You're going to give an account thereof in the day of judgment.
Strong's G 3056. Lagos. Lagos.
And this is a Greek transliteration.
Strong's G 3056. Lagos. Lagos.
Logos, of speech, what someone has said. All right, logos. You're going to have to give an account of discourse, act of speaking, speech, doctrine, teaching, anything reported in speech, a narration, narrative, matter under discussion thing, the things spoken of or talked about. We have to give an account thereof, of all these things. Account, regard, consideration, reckoning, score, explanation in reference to judgment, right? Explanation in reference to judgment. With whom as judge we have stand in relation. Reason, wood, reason, cause, ground. Let's go to the Strong's definitions here. By implication, a topic, subject of discord. Also reasoning, mental faculty, or motive by extension. Okay. Speak, talk, thing. All these things. Utterance, word, work. We have to show account thereof. Okay. And more in specific, the nation of Yasharallah. Okay. But our people hate accountability. And that's one of the main things you see in our nation. In you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America. We want nothing to do, our people don't want nothing to do with any type of accountability, right? That's why they run away from this 100% true gospel. Run away from trying to be righteous in the Lord's eye. Okay? You see it in the world every day. Jake wants to do dirt and be wicked and doesn't want to be held accountable. Has a very wicked mindset that was given to him by his father, the Esau, right? Wants to be just like Esau, okay? Even when caught red-handed and know he was doing wrong, still wants to justify himself and blame someone else, okay? And that's horrible. That's a very wicked mindset. And that's why the state of Yasharallah, it's a proverb, right? It's a people, a degenerate groups of people. And that's how the world views us, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America. That's how they view us, right? Let's go there real quick. Let's see if I can find it. And that's why we are viewed and are called by bywords. Let's see if I can pop it up real quick here. Sometimes not really good with this search bar and the BLB. Give me here. All right, let's go here to Deuteronomy 28:37 real quick. Salakia. And thou shalt become an astonishment. And that's what the world views us Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America. We are an astonishment, but not in a good way, in a horrible way, in a way where people are like, man, look at that weirdo, or look at them people, man, or look at the savagery. Okay, a proverb and a byword among all nations whether the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai shall lead thee. Okay? Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field and shalt gather, but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Okay? This is a perfect example of what our nation looks like to the rest of the world. A proverb, an astonishment, a byword. Okay? And those bywords can mean many different things.
Strong's H8148.
Let's look at the
Shenina.
transliteration for
Shenina.
byword real quick. The Hebrew's transliteration.
Strong's H8148. Shenina.
Sharp word, cutting word, a taunt. You see that? You know, a taunt, to make fun of, right? All the racial bywords that's used to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, right? In particular, right? A byword, a taunt. Something pointed, a guy, byword, taunt. Let's look at the, they don't got too much on it, but you don't need to know that much. There, you saw it for yourself. It's a taunt, a mockery. Okay? We have been made a mockery by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. A curse was given upon us for being a rebellious, stiff-necked people. Okay? And that's why accountability lacks within our communities. It's a big time problem with us taking accountability for our actions, for the way we walk and move around in this heathen world. And some may say, hey man, well, you know, this is a crazy world. It's hard to be righteous when so many people are coming at you in different ways. Well, we still have to show restraint. We still have to show that we are the holy people, right? We still are going to battle these spiritual battles against these wicked heathens out here. Okay? But that shouldn't be the reason why you should try to be like them, right? We have to fight these demons. We have to show restraint. Okay? Let's go here real quick. Let's go here to Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Okay? And how do you please Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai? Well, we just got done reading it. You know, we have to try to rehearse the righteous acts the best way we can, day in and day out. That keeps us in a protective state by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai in the spirit. Okay? When a man's ways please Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Man, that's a powerful, beautiful scripture right there. Even your enemies, man, the persons that you know for a fact just despise everything about you. Yahweh, being the Almighty, could even have your enemies be at peace with you. And I know some brothers have probably faced that real time, you know, walking in this 100% true gospel. I know for a fact they've witnessed the miracles of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. I myself have witnessed things of that sort. Now, is it going to be easy? No. There will be days that you feel weak. There will be days that you feel weak in the flesh, right? But then that's how you have to know, you have to get back to your power, which is Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, which is fellowshipping, which is watching videos, which is staying in the Word. This is not a hobby. This is this is our life. This is our lifestyle. Okay? This is a lifestyle for the nation of Yasharallah. Right? So, I just wanted to touch on that subject. The Spirit led me to touch on that subject because, we was at camp the other day, and, Brother Yakal was, speaking, and we was around, and this one lady happened to be walking by us. This one so-called white lady happened to be walking by when the brothers were going in and, getting down. And I remember him saying he had said, the N word with the hard ER. And it just blew this woman's mind. She was completely confounded because it's not the normal thing to see in her eyes being used that way, especially by, ethnic men, by so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous Americans, right? She turned like with a just a confounded face, like, what? Did he just say what I thought he said? And, somebody of the world, it'll confound them. But somebody is in this truth, knows that those little bywords don't affect a real man of the Lord, right? And the heathen will just be confounded, right? But a man of the Lord will look at those brothers and be like, man, those guys, they ain't budging, man. Those guys are, they got their poker face. These guys don't get easily swayed by foolish things of the world. Myself, when I first seen the brothers in the highways and hedges, man, I had a lot of respect for brothers standing there and taking the rebuke, And you hear that often. The rebuke, all the tribes, the north and the south, and using bywords, derogatory, very racial words, but that just goes to show the character of the brothers. And it's a beautiful thing to see young brothers stand there like real men and not get emotional, right? That's a powerful, and yet it's very scary to the heathen. They get confounded. They get a glitch in their system, and they don't know how to act, right? So that's why the Spirit led me to, make this video today. Talking about accountability, showing restraint, showing what the true spirit of a man looks like, right? And Yahweh Hashem has taught that to the nation of Yasharallah. But our nation has steered away so far, we have no clue what that looks like. And they will never know what that looks like unless they hearken into this 100% true gospel, okay? Unless they repent, show humility and sincerity to being born again in the Spirit in order to bring salvation. Well, Salaki, we don't bring, in order for Yahweh Shai, he's bringing salvation to his hopeful elect, the chosen few. Okay? So, Lord willing, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. Before I go, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four corners of the world to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the Americas, and the speckled bird that are amongst those other nations that look like those